Hello and welcome to Benue Television News at 7. I am Jude Alaki. The headlines: Benue State Government to deliver 80 trucks of fertilizer to farmers. No plan to sell Versities to private investors, says FG. A head-on collision kills 14 in Jigawa. And on the international scene, one killed as Kenya's anti-government protests intensify again. The Benue State government is to partner donor agencies to find lasting solutions to crisis in the state. Governor Hyacinth Alia declared this Tuesday at Government House, Makudi, when he received a delegation from a group, Center for Humanitarian Dialogue, on the Kutse visit. Correspondent Emmanuel Akula reports.
Governor Hyacinth Alia says the visit signifies that more organs in the state are committing to peace, dialogue and resolution of conflicts, noting that it aligns with the values of his administration. The governor re-echoes the commitment of his administration to work with donor agencies to find comprehensive and effective ways of addressing issues hindering peace in the state, while assuring the center of his unwavering support to deliver peace in Benue. Governor Alia requests the organization to consider relief, rehabilitation and reconciliation tools for lasting resettlement of the displaced persons in Benue. He reveals that his government is working out durable solutions towards improving the livelihoods of displaced citizens and to create a stable environment for them.
The peace processes you have facilitated in Jos, in Kaduna, Southern Plateau, natural resource peace processes in Nagatu, in Konshisha, and Oju here in Benue have laid the groundwork for lasting peace and cooperation among communities. I want to express my unwavering support for the sustainability and expansion of these peace initiatives.
Country Manager of Center for Humanitarian Dialogue, Dr. Chris Agoha says, with focus on innovation and mediation, the organization has facilitated peace across the world and is willing to do same in Benue State for sustainable peace. He announces that the center is already doing a lot towards engaging warring communities in Benue, highlighting the Bonta and Okute land dispute in Konshisha and Ojo local governments as a model to their efforts towards brokering peace among Benue communities.
Using networks and partnership built over many years, we engage in creativity at international, interstate and local level with activities that includes 1. Making contact with conflict actors and others where others cannot reach, building trust and dialogue between conflict parties, brokering negotiations, ceasefires and peace accords, supporting humanitarian and health efforts in high-risk areas.
Project Coordinator of Center for Humanitarian Dialogue, Mr. Ibrahim Saleh, requests the Benue State government to facilitate implementation of agreement by warring communities in the state. Reveals that his organization has also drawn a roadmap that will ensure sustainable peace and development of the state.
One area that we have really not had a lot of successes is in implementation of agreements, especially on the part of the state government. So you are coming as giving us hope. We are happy that we have a governor today that is willing to take on these difficult tasks. Some of them are politically difficult, economically difficult, and you are having to manage the difficulty of resources and then the difficulty of inflation.
Director General Bureau for International Cooperation and Development, Mr. Leo Viashima, affirms to the governor that Center for Humanitarian Dialogue is credible and ready to partner his government for total return of peace to Benue, particularly at the grassroots. Emmanuel Akula, Benue Television News, Makudi.
The people of Joshin in Gwe West local government of Benue State have requested formation of a local security outfit and construction of roads network to address the persistent issue of insecurity. The prominent sons and daughters of the area, led by the traditional chief of the area, His Royal Highness Daniel Abomse, made the request Monday during a Kutse call on Governor Hyacinth Alia at Government House, Makudi. Again, Emmanuel Akula reports.
Communities in Benue State have continued to experience pockets of attacks, even as the present administration in Benue State takes deliberate steps towards guaranteeing safety of lives and property. One of these areas is Tioshin in Gui West local government. A delegation from the area is Monday at the government house to brief the chief security officer of the state on the present state of insecurity in the area. According to the visitors, bad nature of access roads in the area and the need to complement the efforts of the conventional security agencies has become necessary to address the unfortunate situation. Leader of the delegation, who is the second-class chief of the Tioshin domain, His Royal Highness Chief Daniel Abomse, urges government to intensify efforts towards addressing incessant killings of his subjects. Abomse places other needs in the area, including challenges of good roads network.
We want to implore your government to maintain the tempo and minimize the degree of killing, occasioning in destruction of lives by kidnapping, incessant murder, and so on and so forth that is going on and has become a commonplace, most particularly in Gui West local government. And the death toll has hit 555 as of 1st of July, 2024. Your Excellency, sir, kindly turn your searchlight and salvage that place. Deliver us from the shackles of hooks of deadly killers.
Governor Hassan Thalia tells the visitors that his government is not resting until lives and property of citizens are secured. Represented by Secretary to the State Government, Professor Joseph Alakali, the governor assures the people of Tioshin of government's plans to ensure that its efforts are felt in the area soon.
I believe that as time goes on, as he finishes his first 4 years in office, his development efforts will be seen in every part, nook and crannies of Benue State. You will see, and I believe you will not deny the Tioshin anything that is due to them. So I'd like us to know that the governor is fair and it doesn't undermine you and the Tioshin people at all.
Some prominent personalities in the area, including the caretaker chairman of Gui West local government, Henry Agba, Commissioner for Education and Knowledge Management, Dr. Frederick Ikan, Reverend Father Boniface Achabo, and Professor Eugene Aliegba, acknowledge efforts of the present administration in Benue State, affirming that more is needed to allow the people return to their ancestral homes. Emmanuel Akula, Benue Television News, Makudi.
The Benue State government has taken delivery of about 180 trucks of fertilizers for distribution to farming communities in the state. A Director General Bureau for Agricultural Development and Mechanization, T.S.A. Ninga, disclosed this to a correspondent, Emmanuel Akula, who was on the governor's team that visited the Bureau's headquarters Monday to access distribution of farm inputs to Benue farmers. The report.
The agricultural sector is one of the cardinal areas of the earlier-led administration in Benue State. To enhance food production and security, the state government, through its Bureau for Agricultural Development and Mechanization, has taken delivery of farm inputs to be distributed to Benue farmers. More than 180 trucks of fertilizers have arrived from the federal government to be distributed to the farmers, which the governor flagged off a few days ago.
As we do the official flag off of this farming season, may God bless and reward the work of our hands on the farms. And may we count many more blessings at the end of the harvest season. Amen. And may we feed our families, the state and the entire nation and beyond. Amen. So help us God.
Amen. Director General of the Bureau, Engineer T.S. Ninga, says Governor Hassan Thalia has directed that farmers in the state have access to farm inputs, especially fertilizers.
We
want to restore what used to be. And that is the vision of the governor, what agriculture used to be. Now, agriculture used to be that farmers had access not just to fertilizers, but to seeds, seedlings, agrochemicals, knapsack sprayers, and cheap mechanization services. Now, that is what we have started to do. And we have made the things different from what it used to be, totally different. For the first time in 42 years, we started giving out fertilizers and other farming inputs to farmers. For 42 years, the last time that farming inputs were given to farmers at subsidized rate in May was in 1982.
Ninga explains that the Bureau is doing everything possible to block leakages to ensure fair sharing of the farm inputs.
We have been registering farmers across the state. We know that in a state of 6 million people, certainly about 4 million are farmers, maybe even more. We are therefore taking statistics of these farmers, know who they are, where they are, what they are farming. So since February, we have started registering farmers. We have not registered up to 200,000 yet, but we are hoping that at the end of the exercise, which is by January next year, we will have registered the entire farming population. We will have profiles of all the farmers in the state.
Farmers are seen conveying farm inputs from the Bureau with the hope of improved yields and productivity. Principal Special Assistant to the Governor on Media and Content Creation, Isaac Guzan, says the development will facilitate the Governor's blueprint of a greater Benue. Harass attacks, post-harvest losses and climate change have negatively impacted on overall agricultural output in most parts of the north-central states, especially Benue, leading to food shortages. With the efforts of Governor Hyson Fale and other development partners, it is hoped that the situation will improve in the coming harvest. Emmanuel Akula, Benue Television News, Makudi.
We'll go on a break now. When we come back, we'll bring you stories from other parts of Nigeria. Do stay.
Benue Fashion Show Season 3 is here.
It's that time of the year for fashion designers, entrepreneurs, and fashion enthusiasts to shine.
This year, sale of forms for the competition begins from 15th April to 19th July 2024.
Pick a form at Benue Television, located at Special Duties Wing, Government House, Makudi. Form costs 5,000 Naira only.
Stage 1 screening begins on the 6th of July 2024. Great prizes await you.
The first prize, 1 million Naira. Second prize, 500,000 Naira. And third prize, 300,000 Naira. All prizes are inclusive of cash and fashion tools. Also, consolation prizes and gift items.
For sponsorship, partnership and inquiries, please call Benue TV Marketing on 0906 188 9838 or 0703 794 5569.
Benue Fashion Show,
embracing fusion fashion.
Life no suppose out like this, and that's now why millions of Nigerians they pay for everything with mobile. Dial *671# or download the new mobile app, make you follow enjoy this better life.
Glad to have you back. The Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Maman, on Tuesday said the federal government has no plans to sell universities to private investors. Maman clarified the second quarterly engagement of the ministry with heads of units and chief executive officers of parastatals and agencies under the ministry. The Academic Staff Union of Universities had accused the federal government of plans to hand over federal universities to investors through public-private partnerships. Maman stated that there is no plan to sell off universities to investors, noting, however, that the policy of the government allowed for transitional education. According to him, transitional education is a policy on what this government is doing to open up tertiary education by taking people from the rest of the world to come and invest in its tertiary system. The minister stressed the need to allow those who operate universities at the international level to come into the country and set up institutions either for themselves or in collaboration with local universities. He further noted that the engagement with heads of agencies as parastatals was to review the progress and challenges and reaffirm commitment towards the educational landscape of the country. The Director General and Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, Professor Charles Anosike, has urged staff to foster workplace culture centered on ethical conduct. Speaking on Tuesday at the launch of NIMET's Anti-Corruption and Bribery Policy and Code of Ethics in Abuja, Anosike emphasized the importance of ethics, integrity, and accountability as fundamental to organizational success. Welcoming guests from the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, Anosike highlighted their collaboration in the fight against corruption, underscoring NIMET's commitment to institutionalizing ethical standards in the public service. Presenting the NIMET Code of Ethics and Anti-Corruption and Bribery Policy, Anosike stated that the documents demonstrate NIMET's unwavering dedication to ethical behavior and combating corruption. They signal the organizational resolve to foster a culture where corruption is unacceptable. Anosike reiterated NIMET's zero-tolerance stance against corruption, emphasizing the policy's role in ensuring transparency and accountability across all operations. He urged all staff to adhere strictly to the NIMET Code of Ethics and Anti-Corruption and Bribery Policy. Two residents of Osun State, Musibao Adisa, 55, and Busari Tajuddin, 51, have been brought before the magistrate court in Osogbo on charges of stealing meters. They, however, pleaded not guilty to 3 counts: conspiracy, theft, and fraud. According to police prosecutor Inspector Olaiwola Razak, the accused allegedly stole an IBEDC meter numbered 450-602-26300 belonging to Ibrahim Samiu in Arogumosa area of Okebale, Osogbo in May 2024 and sold it. They were also accused of fraudulently obtaining 80,000 naira from Adeniji Oluwakemi by pretending to sell her an IBEDC meter. The defense counsel, Kaisemobi Ngoke, requested that the court grant bail on the most liberal terms. Magistrate Adekami Adeyeba granted bail to the defendants in the sum of 50,000 naira each, with 1 surety required for each defendant. The case has been adjourned to August 20, 2024 for a hearing. We'll go on another break. More stories will come your way. To stay.
Aha! Bro, I tell you, this match 3-0. Okay. If I win you, something will come out.
Don't play with me. Fast ball. Ah, you know what? You go shot.
Bro.
Now we got this match.
Keep the banter going. Glow, borrow me credit and data. Dial *303# to borrow airtime or data and pay later.
Is it ready?
Power your relentless ambition with ultra-high-speed data. Glow Unlimited.
You're still watching Benue Television News at 7. And now for more stories on the national scene. The Ministry of State for Petroleum Resources, Oil, Senator Hanneken Lokpobiri, on Tuesday instructed the Petroleum Technology Development Fund, PTDF, to complete the remaining 24 contracts for the College of Petroleum and Energy Studies in Kaduna. Established by the fund in 2009 for postgraduate training, the college currently operates through the Overseas Scholarship Scheme in Europe and other countries. During a recent inspection of the college, PTDF Executive Secretary Ahmed Galadima Aminu informed the minister that out of 87 contracts awarded for the college, 63 have been completed, leaving 24 still outstanding. The minister also urged Aminu, who had said the college has secured a university license from the National Universities Commission (NUC) to commence postgraduate studies to kickstart it. He also charged PTDF to finalize discussions with its university partners in the United Kingdom and other parts of the world. He expressed satisfaction with the project, stressing he would not allow the facilities to waste. Lokpobiri encouraged the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited (NNPCL), Nigeria Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission (NUPRC), Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority (NMDPRA), and other government institutions to patronize the college. The Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has doled out 427.7 million naira to the 4,277 members of the Batch B Stream 1 National Youth Service Corps (NYSC) posted to the state. He announced the donation during the close of orientation camp earlier today, Tuesday, July 16. The governor also donated 100 million naira to the NYSC and support staff and promised to approve 5 billion naira for the building of the permanent orientation camp. Sanwo-Olu also promised automatic employment into the civil service for 100 corps members after their service year. He admonished the corps members to exemplify the lessons of discipline, perseverance, and teamwork imbibed during the 3-week orientation course. He also advises them to actively engage with local communities, address challenges, and contribute to meaningful projects as they venture into the field. He urged them to exemplify the lessons of discipline, perseverance, and hard work that they have learned during their time in the camp. The Jigawa Police Command has confirmed the death of 14 passengers and 4 others injured following a fatal motor accident at Kanya Market on Tuesday in Jigawa State. The command's public relations officer DSP Lawan Adam confirmed the incident on Tuesday. He stated that on Monday at about 11:20 hours, information at the command's disposal revealed that there was a fatal motor vehicle accident involving a DAF truck with registration number GMB 242KD coming from Kanya Market. On reaching an immigration checkpoint, another vehicle, a Toyota Hiace with registration number XA381GAS, was also coming from Kano to Kanya Market with overloading and at a high speed. The PPRO said When the immigration officer stopped the driver of the Toyota Hiace, he refused to stop and attempted to get around the checkpoint by veering into the other lane. As a result, he collided head-on with the DAF truck. 4 passengers suffered severe injuries and 14 others passed away instantly. He said on receipt of the report, the divisional police officer Kenya Division alongside his patrol team rushed to the scene where the corpses and injured victims were evacuated and rushed to Kenya Baba Cottage Hospital. The corpses were certified dead by a doctor on duty, while the injured are currently receiving medical attention. Let's now join Loretta Oko for weather report. Over to you, Loretta.
Glad to have you join us for the weather report. We have received several clouds but also several good sunny periods all through Wednesday over parts of Benue states like Makurdi, Otukpo, Boko, Katsina, Ala, with temperatures low around 27 degrees Celsius and high around 35 degrees Celsius. Humidity of 48% with 19% precipitation. We anticipate sunny periods and passing clouds sometimes heavy all through the day in the Federal Capital Territory with 50% possibility of rain and thunderstorm at the start of the evening and risk of mist forming at night hours. Temperatures varying between 25 degrees Celsius low and 33 degrees Celsius high. We expect good weather with few clouds all through the day in Kano State. Temperatures will vary between 27 degrees Celsius low and 42 degrees Celsius high. The weather will become uncertain during the day with sunny periods and passing clouds sometimes heavy over parts of Lagos State with 35% risk of rain at the end of the afternoon. Temperatures varying between 29 degrees Celsius low and 32 degrees Celsius high. That's it from here. Do join us again for another report. I am Loretta Oko.
Many thanks, Loretta. We'll take a break now. International news is next. Do stay.
Life no suppose out like this, and that's now why millions of Nigerians they pay for everything with mobile. Dial *671# or download the new mobile app, make you follow enjoy this better life.
Welcome. For stories on the international scene, Rwandan President Paul Kagame is on course to extend his 24-year rule by another 5 years in a landslide victory, with most of the votes counted from Monday's election. He has 99.15% of the votes so far, with about 79% of the ballots counted partial. The 66-year-old again faced no meaningful opposition, with leading figures banned. His two opponents shared less than 1% of the vote. The Electoral Commission says 98% of the more than 9.5 million eligible voters took part in the elections. They were voting for a president and 53 legislators. Elections for 27 special seats meant for women, young people and people with disabilities will take place on Tuesday. Mr. Kagame has been the de facto leader of Rwanda since the end of the 1994 genocide and president since 2000. A rights group accused him of curtailing freedoms since taking office, while his supporters say he had presided over economic growth and helped end ethnic divisions. Anti-government protesters in Kenya have returned to the streets, stepping up demands for President William Ruto to resign despite his recent concessions. One man has been shot dead during a confrontation between protesters and security forces on the outskirts of the capital. In central Nairobi, shops have been closed as police fire tear gas to disperse hundreds of demonstrators. The protests began last month against an unpopular tax bill, which has since been withdrawn by the president, but they have continued, morphing into broader anger over bad governance, corruption, and police accountability over the deaths of dozens of demonstrators at recent rallies. I recall that President Ruto called for a dialogue as he fired his entire cabinet and the head of the police force resigned. The protest movement is largely coordinated online by young Kenyans, many of whom have rejected talks and are calling for Mr. Ruto's leave. A crowd carried the body of the demonstrator killed on Tuesday in Kitengela in southern Nairobi to a nearby police station. The police force, however, are yet to comment on the man's death. 6 people have been found dead in a luxury hotel suite in Thailand's capital, Bangkok. Confusion and mystery has surrounded the grain discovery, with local media initially suggesting there had been a shooting at the 5-star Grand Hyatt Erawan, Bangkok. But police dismissed these reports and said there was no evidence of gunfire. Instead, authorities are investigating whether the victims died of poisoning. The deceased 3 men and 3 women were all Vietnamese nationals, and some had dual American citizenship. Srettha Thavisin, Thailand's Prime Minister who visited the scene, added that investigators suspect the victims had been dead for 24 hours before the time they were found, and that post-mortem examinations would be carried out. Metropolitan Police Chief Lieutenant Colonel Thiti Saiswang said 7 people were booked to stay at the hotel, but only 5 checked in, and 1 person is currently unaccounted for, and one of the victims found in the room did not match the hotel's records. Investigators say there is no evidence of a fight or a robbery, and the only wound found on one of the bodies was likely caused by a collapse. Well, that's about the size of our package. The top stories just before we go. A Benue State government to deliver 80 trucks of fertilizer to farmers. No plan to sell varsities to private investors, says FG. Head-on collision kills 14 in Jigawa. And on the international scene, we told you that 1 killed as Kenyan anti-government protests intensify again. Many thanks for your attention. On behalf of the production team, my name is Jude Alaki. Have a good evening.